Just pass the law. Do something right, Tay Reid.
Tonight on Hotty Toddy News, with medical marijuana just a signature away from becoming the law of the land in Mississippi, we'll hear from one local on how she hopes it can help her.
Not fun to pay more for something that I've been used to at a lower price.
A trip to the grocery store reaches deeper into your wallet than it did a year ago. Find out how local grocery stores and shoppers are dealing with inflation. And a new downtown ordinance is causing frustration from taxi drivers and their customers. That story and more straight ahead. Hotty Toddy News starts now.
From the School of Journalism and New Media on the campus of the University of Mississippi, this is Hotty Toddy News.
I'm Annabelle Kinney, and welcome to the first show of the spring semester for Hotty Toddy News. Over a year since the medical marijuana initiative in Mississippi was struck down, a bill to legalize medical marijuana now sits on the governor's desk. The bill, which passed the House yesterday by a wide margin, allows patients to buy 3.5 grams a day to 6 days a week. Governor Reeves has previously indicated that he wants the amount lowered and has not said whether he will sign the bill into law. Reeves now has 3 options. He can sign the bill, veto the bill, even though both chambers have enough votes to override the veto, or he can let the bill sit on his desk for 5 days, after which it would become law without his signature. Reporter Jason Price sat down with an Oxford resident who hopes to benefit from medical marijuana. He now joins us live in the newsroom. Jason?
Oxford native Loalma McThune is used to working 2 jobs 7 days a week. This schedule was interrupted in 2016 when she was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, arthritis, and osteoporosis.
It hurts to sit down so long sometimes. So it's just basically a painful situation that can't do nothing about, but take something to relax you with it.
McThune was prescribed sleeping and anti-inflammatory medication, but received no respite for her constant pain.
With the restrictions that I was given, Walmart, they wouldn't vouch for them. So I had to go on medical leave until medical leave was out. And then I was out of a job.
If signed into law, the medical marijuana bill would cover conditions such as cancer, Alzheimer's, and chronic pain illnesses, among others. Patients would be required to purchase a $25 registration card along with purchasing the marijuana. McThune's conditions would qualify her under the bill, and she hopes the prescription can do one thing.
Stop the pain. That's basically it. Stop the pain.
Provided the bill becomes law, residents like McThune could receive medical marijuana by the end of the year. Jason Price, Hotty Toddy News.
While the governor debates whether or not he will sign the bill into law, the University of Mississippi is getting to work at the new Cannabis Research Center. The Board of Trustees of Mississippi's Higher Learning approved the center last week. The research will be focused on understanding the potential benefits and adverse effects of marijuana from a health perspective. It will also work to provide aid and information to lawmakers and state medical marijuana programs as they get started. In other state medical news, Mississippi's only children's hospital received a record-breaking donation this week. Century Club Charities raised $1.5 million for the children of Mississippi Sanderson Tower at the University of Mississippi Medical Center through the Sanderson Farms Champion Golf Tournament. That is $50,000 more than the event raised last year. They will look to break the record once again at this year's tournament from September 26th to October 2nd at the Country Club of Jackson. Switching gears to something that has not only affected the state of Mississippi, but the whole country, grocery prices are still on the rise. Reporter Terrigan Dixon spoke with a local grocery store owners and customers today to see how inflation is affecting them.
Taking a trip to your local grocery store is no longer cheaper by the dozen. Many stores in Oxford have increased prices on groceries these last few months. Cash Savers owner Mark Larson says customers can expect to pay double for groceries such as cleaning products and meat compared to this time last year.
Production costs went up, lack of labor to be able to produce different cuts of meats. Trucking industry can't move it around like they'd like to because they're short on people.
With prices at an all-time high, a pack of ground beef that was normally $2 a pound is now $4 a pound, making it one of the most expensive meats on the market. Customers such as Nathan Hale are feeling the financial burden of the inflation.
I don't care for it just because I like cheap stuff because I'm a college kid. Obviously, it's not fun to pay more for something that I've been used to at a lower price, but still got to eat, so I've got to pay for it.
Larson says he does not see prices going back to normal anytime soon, and customers should expect other produce such as oranges and orange juice to go up as well.
You know, we hate to see it, but we do understand it.
Ivone Garcia, Hotty Toddy News.
In addition to groceries, gas and home prices are significantly higher than they were a year ago. Prices aren't the only thing going up, so is Oxford's population. Reporter Kennedy Cooper has all the details on how Oxford and Lafayette County are trying to manage this growth.
Xavier Vasquez moved to Oxford from Texas 2 years ago to work for Ole Miss Communications. He says he fell in love with the city and the culture.
You come here, you come to a place like Oxford, you come to a smaller town, and you do get a sense of community. You do get, Southern hospitality is not dead. And it just feels more comfortable around here.
He is one of many who found a new home in Oxford in recent years, and according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the population in Lafayette County has grown by 14% in the last 10 years, which makes it the 6th fastest growing county in Mississippi. Director of Development Services Joel Hollowell says being a small town with big city amenities plays a big part in population growth.
Brings, like I say, a lot of amenities that some of us who have been here all of our lives were not used to having. You know, there are a lot more opportunities for whether it's dining or entertainment or those types of things.
With population vastly growing in Lafayette County, Director of Development Joel Hollowell says there have been growing pains, but they're working towards a plan to better accommodate the newcomers in the community. For Hotty Toddy News, I'm Kennedy Cooper.
Hallowell also said that the city and the county are working together with the state to make the infrastructure and utilities able to accommodate the growing population. After years of Oxford contemplating rideshare policies and parking locations in the downtown area, the city of Oxford finally put a new ordinance in place for pickups, and not everyone is thrilled about the change. Reporter Anna Kate Boyd went to find out what drivers and customers think.
The new city ordinance began last week, requiring all taxi and rideshare companies to pick up citizens from 3 spots on the square, by the parking garage, by Nuke's, and behind Venice Kitchen. Officer Breck Jones says these locations were selected to keep citizens safe.
There's cameras, security cameras in all these locations where if anybody ever feels unsafe, obviously just contact the police department.
However, not everyone is happy about this mandate. Uber driver Richie Manny says she has already experienced many issues.
I think it's worse as far as the female students because, like I said, that one is a dark alley. And if they've been drinking, they may get in the wrong car. That would not be good.
This is the West pickup location located right behind Vincent's Kitchen. For citizens to get to this pickup spot, they will have to walk through the Faulkner's Alley, which is causing many safety concerns.
I think it's a little bit controversial, like with all the students. I think it is hard, you know, when you have 1 or 2 girls walking by themselves across the square. I don't necessarily think it's a great idea.
Although this mandate will not affect drop-offs, all taxis, Ubers, and Lyfts must pick up citizens between 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. at the designated locations. Anna Kate Boyd, Hotty Toddy News.
Despite backlash, the city feels that the ordinance will improve traffic and overall safety on the square. Student athletes at Ole Miss can take advantage of the new name, image, and likeness rules through the Chamber of Commerce's latest program. Yesterday, the Chamber announced a program which will give donors the chance to invest in a fund that will help all student athletes learn how to navigate NIL deals. All the athletes have to do is access the funds as community service. The Chamber will develop a portal where donors can donate as little as $10 a month to the student athlete of their choice. They will begin accepting donations in May. The Ole Miss men's basketball team tried to ride their momentum into an upset of Arkansas last night at the Sandy and John Black Pavilion, but the Razorbacks had other ideas. Arkansas swiftly took the lead. The Hogs never looked back and walked away to a 64-55 victory over the Rebs. The game was tied twice early on, and Ole Miss managed to briefly grasp the lead. But a 12-6 surge just before halftime proved to be just too much for Coach Davis's squad to overcome. The Rebs will look to right the ship on Saturday when they are back home to face the Kansas State Wildcats. That's all for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can find all of our shows as well as the latest news on the Oxford Lafayette community on HottyToddy.com. I'm Annabelle Kinney. We'll see you next week.